In this video, I'm going to show you how to add a node to the beginning of a singly linked list. So first thing I'm going to do here is set up our method, and I'm going to call it unshift. This unshift will take in a value. That value we're going to use inside our method later on to create a newly created to create a new node. Okay, so we do need a value passed in as an argument. In our pseudocode, you see that the first step is it will be our edge case. We are checking to see that the length is not 0. So I'm going to check if this dot length is equal to 0, then return undefined. Now that the edge case is taken care of, the next step is to create a new node. So this is where we're going to use that argument. So we're going to call this variable called new. I'm going to call it new node and create an instance of it, new node, and pass in that value that we got passed in as an argument. Now this new node, we created it in previous lecture here. That's this class here, and as you can see, it is a constructor that creates a node with two properties, the value and the next pointer. So going back to our unshift method, next is we want to store the old head in a variable. All right. So the reason why we need a reference to the old head is because at the moment, because this method, the purpose is to add to the very beginning of a list. Well, that what was considered the head before no longer will be the head. It's kind of like it's going to be bumped forward or shift one position forward and become the second element now. So that's why at the moment we need a reference to it, because we will need it later. So I'm going to call this variable, call it old head, and currently it's going to be this dot head. So that is that's going to be, we need a reference to the old head. All right, next is make the new head to be the newly created node. Okay, so this dot head is going to be now the new node here that we created here. So now that is the new head. All right, so if we were to visually see this, let me draw this out here. All right. What you see here, we pushed in a total of pushed in 3 values. So we have the 7 as the head, we have 14 as the second node, and then as a tail we got 19. So this is what we have built out from here. All right, so we know that the unshift is pushing a new node to the beginning. All right, we're creating a new node and adding it to the beginning of a list. So in this example, what I want to do is let's say I want to end up adding 100, a node with the value of 100 to the beginning of this list here. Well, currently as it stands, that's not how that's what we have at the moment. Is, let's say we are creating a node here. So this new node here, which when say it's this one here with 100, we are making it the new head. Okay, but the thing is that currently it's not attached in any way or linking in any form to the current list that we have. So that's what we're gonna have to do, is we need to connect this to the current list. So the way to do that is we're gonna do, let's see here, what was it? It was to point the new head's next property to the old head. So the new node dot next and point it to the old head. Remember that this is the reason why I needed a reference to the old head, because I need to connect that new node which is the head now, and connect it to what was considered the old head, which is this 7 here. So now that we have this statement here, this line of code here, that's exactly what it's doing here. So we are essentially bringing these together and having the 100 point to now the 7 here, which connects everything together now. So now this is what we have, because we made the new node's next property point to the old head. Okay, so now the next step is to increment the length and then to return this. So we're going to do this dot length plus plus and then return this. All right, and that is it. That should take care of everything. So let's go ahead and do the testing. So as I said, right now as it stands, this is, let me go ahead and remove the 100 for now. Currently, this is what we have based off this here. So if I save and run the code, you're gonna see we got a length of 3. If I expand here, you see that the head is 7, which is right here, the first one, and the tail is 19 here. All right, so we do have our 3 nodes that are that creates our list. All right, so what I want to do is I want to use my unshift method. So do list.unshift and add the value of 100. Right, because remember when I was trying to explain to you here, this was what I was trying to do here, trying to create. I was trying to add the 100 to the beginning so it can build out this list here. All right, so this 100 should add it to the very beginning of our list. So if I save that and run our code, let's see what we get. So now you see we get a length of 4, and if I expand this, look at the new head. The new head is showing me with a value of 100, which that's exactly what we wanted to do, right? We wanted to add it to the beginning. So this is what we currently have here. And the tail is 19. That's correct. That's 19 here. All right. And let's say if I wanted to add another value to the very beginning of 100, let's say 75. All right, this is what I want to draw up now. So have 75 as the new head, and it should point to 100, and it should create this list for us. So let me go ahead and add another unshift with the value of 75. I'm going to save that and run the code, and let's see. So now we get a length of 5. Okay, and look at the head. Now the head is now indeed 75. Right here you can see the head 75, and the tail is 19. Good, it's still 19. And if I expand the head, look at the next property, you see that it has a node of 100. So you see 75 points to 100. And if I was to expand that next property here, you see that this node here points to 7, which is right over here. Okay. All right. So now we have a functioning unshift method, which adds a new node to the beginning of a single linked list.